Hello, my name is Shara. I'm the Director of Budget and Compliance. And today I'm coming forth with PowerSchool and eFinance information that we are switching ERP systems or EFP systems. There's two different ways to say it. And that's basically our finance system. We will be moving from Teams to a program called eFinance. Today, our goal is to make this transition run as smoothly as possible. Keep you informed of decisions as they're made, preview as much as possible, prepare for new processes and procedures, and advance click sheets as soon as we can, and provide a playground. Hopefully we can do this, and with small training groups. A timeline right now, January 23 is our kickoff to start the official finance conversion. Over the past few months, we've been going through some informational type conversion data, but as of January, we will actually start converting the data. You have been sent out some surveys, and we will continue to send out surveys to get your input. Development and process procedures will be coming forth. As soon as we get those, we'll go ahead and start giving you pre-clue of that information. We've already started mapping to the new accounts and will continue to do so. And the official launch is what they call a mid-year conversion. We will launch January 2024. All right, so let's go, and I'll show you all the items that we know at this time. First of all, the account code structure will change. We are moving from a 23-digit to a 20-digit account code. Mainly, this is in the area of the fund. Right now, you're used to seeing 6 digits on the fund. That will move down to 3. An example would be 199,000 will now be 199. Also, some fund numbers will change or be absorbed to align with the TEA guidelines. 173 and 174, which are called enterprise funds. This is your employee child care and the PASAR program. Those will move from a 173, 174 to a 723 and a 724. Health Science Academy right now has a separate fund in the general fund called 193. That will move over to the general fund in 199. And then 179, which is our special programs, which is GWIN, will move to 199. And your activity funds, which is 9XX, will move to a 461. We'll go into more detail on that in a few minutes. On your sub-objects and local codes, these will now be designated. They have an alphanumeric capability. They are locally defined. And what we'll be going to is it will be the same throughout all funds. In other words, if 137 means that it is a band code, then that 137 will be defined as the sub-object and or local code throughout all the funds, including your federal funds and so forth. This allows for easy reportability if you wanted to see what band was running throughout the entire district. This would allow us to run that one code and get the cost of all that program. Also, your organization code. So this is mainly to departments. So if you're a department office manager, these departments will be reorganized. It'll provide more ease of access, better reporting, and I'll be setting up meetings with your leadership to discuss what this organization looks like and how we will define it. Where currently you now see separate sheets on the budget, it will be combined probably into 1 to 2 sheets with either a local code or a sub-object to define that program. Okay, let's talk about the activity fund structure. I know that's where a lot of the office managers live most of the time. So going into that, you're used to seeing the 6 digits. The last 3 digits on the fund used to define your program would be the name of the club or the activity. That will now house as a sub-object. As you can see in this example, you will have your fund, your function, your object code. Your sub-object now defines the name of the club or the activity. The organization is the location, then you have your PIC and your local code. If you notice on the balance sheet right here, your payables and retail card, your due tos and all that were housed in your sub-object. They are now moved over to a local code. Your revenue accounts have been redefined to line with TEA. The biggest thing is 5755 is now defined as revenue for fundraising only. We will be setting up a 5749 to go with all your other miscellaneous revenue. Right now, I think a lot of you are putting everything into the 5755. It'll be pulled out and put here. 5744 will remain as your donation and gifts, and your 5753 will be revenue extracurricular events. Again, I want you to notice that it is defined up here as sub-object and the organization on what location that area is. We will try to go through and set everybody up at 5749 miscellaneous revenue as we go through the mapping process. Your expenses will look like this. Now, the one thing I want you to notice here, again, is that on the define of the account, the definition of the account, you're used to seeing, like, if it was the math club, you would see contracted services dash math club. We are very limited into the number of units we can have in this area, so we've had to scale that down. It's going to be very, very important as we move into this transition that you understand the account code more than the description. Understand that this will define, your sub-object will define the club or the organization, all right? Now, your local code is going to be heavily used here. You'll see we have an SBM, and this is going to be for the food for staff, students, and volunteer. Everything will be truncated to fit within the 25 character limit that we have. On the activity funds, on the expenses, if you have a 61XX payroll account, you will not see that going into eFinance. Activity funds are not supposed to have payroll taken out of it anyway, so we are not allowing those accounts to cross over. If the need arises and something is approved, we will set that account up at that time when we transition. Your 777 and 666 food accounts will change to a local code of CEL and SBM. One's for the celebratory staff, and the other, again, is for the food, staff, students, volunteers, snack, and business meals. Again, this has been defined, truncated to the 25 unit limit. 656 currently means break room supplies. We will change that to a BRS. We will make sure that all of these definitions are set up in our activity fund manual. So don't worry about having to remember this right now. All this will be set up in the activity fund manual to give you easy guidance. The campus accounts, let's talk about those. Those are your 199 funds that most of you call them. We have sent out a survey to help aid in design. If you answered in that survey, thank you so much. We will be setting up a template for each area for elementary, middle school, high school, and senior highs. What the idea is behind setting up the template is hopefully we will encompass every account need that you will need, and everybody will have a certain design with sub-objects and local codes. There will no longer be the autonomy to have different things. We want everything to be uniform and systematic across the district. So therefore, we sent out a survey to get opinions from you guys on how and what would be the best design. This will also keep you from having to go, oh, I don't have that account set up. I need to go get it set up. So hopefully with having the template, once it's designed, we will send that out one more time to make sure that everybody has had a chance to look at it and have input. And then we will set each of these areas up with that design to eliminate the need for additional accounts and also to give uniformity across the district. An example would be like an elementary. A lot of the survey came back that elementaries like to do everything by grade level. So you would have a local code that would be 001 for like first grade, and then 002 for second grade for different supplies and things of that nature. So that will be pre-designed and set up for you. Middle schools and high schools seem to go by subject. So right now, that's what we're seeing from the survey. And so we'll have each of the areas set up for subject. Also, we'll be looking at function codes. For instance, a lot of you have maintenance contracts, laminator maintenance, and so forth. We will make sure that those are pre-set up for you. So as we move into the new system, hopefully it will make it easy to transition. Okay, let's talk about the training. What will the training look like? We are under the contract to do train the trainer. What we are trying to do is not just train our group. We're going to be training maybe some other people so we can come in and have smaller groups and train in small increments and help you guys along. I really would like to start the training as soon as possible. As soon as I know that we have an area, if we are able to have a playground or something, we would be able to start some training actually this spring, just to kind of get it in your head. It's not meant for you to know it right off the bat. It's just to kind of get you familiar with what the screens look like, what the program looks like, and if we have the opportunity to walk you through some of those processes. We are going to try after January 2024 is our launch date. Your principals will know this. Everybody will know this. Probably the first couple of weeks as you come back from break, we're going to have some intense training. Hopefully at that point, it will be a review for you. And we're going to break off into these small groups and try to master these different changes. We want you to be successful at this. So we're trying everything we can to get as much information as we can to you. Okay, the one thing you need to know is the budget that we are designing for 23-24. This is the biggest thing. The budget you're doing right now, preparing for 23-24, will transition to eFinance. When we go into this new budget year, the first 6 months is going to be on the teams. Last 6 months will be in eFinance. So one of the things that as we transition, we will have to make sure everybody is balanced. And we will also, if needed, if you need some historical data, I will have a mapping that could show you what happened to those accounts and where did they go and what it transitioned to. Most items should transition to the same account with a different structure. But there will be a few that still had some old accounts that needs to transition to a new object code. I will have mapping available if necessary for you to be able to follow that. Everything's going to be okay. We're going to be successful at this. We're all in this together and everything will be fine. We'll get this and start a new year with being able to report. eFinance is a good system. It looks great. And I think it's going to be able to allow us to have more flexibility and more information than we ever had before. Thank you so much and take care.